Greetings. Welcome. Doggy, I see you. All right, guys. Welcome to Bria Babes. I'm your host, Vale Chikuni. I am so glad that you guys are here. We are going to get right into it, okay? So, whatever else you're doing, you'll be able to hear me loud and clear. All right, put your comments in there. We're going to feature them tonight. All right, guys, as you can see on my profile, on my thumbnail that I put over there, I always want to put a sentence, but when it's a thumbnail, you just want to put just one single word sentence. But it does not matter. We are going to play the clips. I'll be adding my commentary. I'm interested to know what is your take with this whole situation. All right, as you can see, we have Mrs. Curry, Ayesha Curry. She was on Call Her Daddy, okay? And it's, like a month ago and everything. This thing went viral and everything. I was just like, you know what? some other time, some other time. So today we're going to feature it. And then I find this gentleman, Derrick Jaxn, made a commentary about it. Then I'm thinking, I'm like, should you be saying anything about this issue? Okay. So we have his clip as well. So let's get into it. I'll be stopping it along the way. Okay. And the other thing that I did notice, there was, there's a portion of this interview that went viral. Okay. Understandably so. However, I'm not going to play that viral first. I'm going to play these clips. That way you can understand why she said what she said, okay? It was all in this interview because when I was listening to it, I'm like, okay, how come everybody was surprised that she said this? Clearly, from where she's coming from, this is the conclusion. That was the conclusion. If she didn't say it on these interviews, it was just a matter of time she was going to say it someplace else, which she has. So here we go, guys. We can always learn something, okay? I'm so glad that you are here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So here is, the first clip. I hope I got it right, okay? Because there was so much stuff that she was saying in this one. So let's just get right into it. All right. So here we go with Mrs. Curry. All right. Let's do that.
Tell me about coming out to LA. What early ambitions did you have for yourself, and what did you want?
It's interesting because I don't ever, I think, get the opportunity to kind of talk about my life before my life now. And so, I graduated high school a year early. At the time, I was living in North Carolina, and I'd been in the industry since I was 3 years old. I was always working. Commercial, print, doing TV stuff, always. So other kids were at soccer, doing the extracurriculars, and I was on a set working. And so it was second nature for me. And quite honestly, growing up, the only thing that I thought I could do. And so I would enter all of these competitions. I entered this one in North Carolina, and they were like, hey, move to LA. And I grew up, I think it's really important to preface, I grew up in the most strict environment. Didn't get to go to high school football games. Didn't get to really hang out with my friends. Damn sure couldn't walk around the mall by myself. But when these people were like, hey, you want to move to LA? They were like, yeah, go.
Your parents were like, have fun, honey. You're like,
go. You're going to do it. And I appreciate it because that means they believed in me so much. But at the same time, our entire family was like, this is crazy. You can't even carpool.
Okay, wait. You starting at 3, was it because your mom just saw something in you?
The story is, because obviously I have no recollection, we were in a grocery store and a talent agent said, oh, she should be in commercials. And so it started from there and then kept going. And
when you started working that young and then kind of became aware of it, did you love it?
I loved it. Okay. I loved it. Eat, sleep, breathe.
Okay, so you come from the strict family. Then you get on a plane after graduating high school early. So you're what, 17?
Yeah, I was 17. My dad set me up for a month. I got an apartment.
Okay. So at the beginning, you heard what she said, right? People know her story, but they don't know her story. So this is Ayesha Curry setting the stage that I know you people know me because of my husband. But just so you guys know, I was already Ayesha, okay? Since I was 3 years old. I was already in LA doing the things that I love, acting. This is how I was raised. So in her mind, what she's bringing to the table, I was already doing things. Sooner or later, yes, you might know me right now because of my husband, but you would have still known about me besides my husband. I hope you guys are getting it with where we are going with her story. So listen to what she said in this clip, okay? Here we go.
Ridiculously expensive. So I was shocked. Had to pick up 3 jobs. I worked at a frozen yogurt shop. I worked at Abercrombie and Fitch and a farmer's market on the weekends to just to be able to make that happen.
Yep. And I feel like when you have the dream of LA and acting or modeling or getting into this industry, naturally rejection comes with that.
Oh, God.
When you came out to LA, what was your self-confidence like before you started really getting maybe some no's?
I think because I came from the small town, I was like, oh, I got this. And then I got out here. And I remember the first couple of like cattle call auditions being like, every single person in here looks exactly like me. Like these are like, we're carbon copies of each other. Like, what's going to set you apart? And so I think early on, I was like, wow, I've got to diversify my portfolio a little bit.
Right, because in North Carolina, you're like, there's like...
Okay, so you heard her, right? So she, she's in LA, she was 17, she's already doing things. Now, this is what she said. Okay, let's take a look. I'm skipping it because it was a long interview. I just want us to concentrate how, the thing ended up going viral. Okay, take a listen to this.
He comes to the West Coast, and at this point, when he gets drafted, like, are you guys like official boyfriend, girlfriend?
Oh, yeah.
Who said I love you first?
Me.
What? Tell me everything.
I 100% said I love you first. I was visiting him at school and getting ready to leave to go back to my mom's house. And I said it. And he didn't say it back. And he just stared at me. And my eyes started to well up. And he was like, can I please explain? And I'm like, okay. And he's
okay. I immediately now know what you're like in those moments in relationships. You literally go stone cold. Just like, okay. Let me know.
He's like, I said, he's like, I said I love you to somebody in the past and I didn't mean it. He's like, and I regret it. And he's like, I just want to be sure that when I say it again, you know that I mean it. And in the moment, I was like, bullshit. But now, obviously, I realized he was serious. And a month later, we're sitting watching 7 Pounds. And when they say like the human heart, 7 pounds, he literally, my whole family's in the room, by the way, sitting watching this movie. He leans over in my ear and he's like, I love you. And I'm like happy, but I'm also like, what? Like,
what are you doing?
Sitting next to my uncle. What are we doing?
No,
what's happening?
Not Steph in that moment thinking like this is gonna be so romantic, and you're literally like,
I mean, if he's gonna do one thing, he's gonna make it memorable.
Okay, so now you can see this is this is the profile of Ayesha Curry to where she's coming from. Okay, so she's already telling people, I was already in LA, I was already doing my thing. I was, ever since I was 3 and then 17, I was already working. So she was already taking care of business prior to Steph Curry coming in. And yes, when Steph Curry showed up, they were young and everything, but, she said, I love you first, okay? So she's out here showing to you like, okay, I know how to call the shots, so to speak. So this interview was quite eye-opening, okay? So now here is Steph Curry, and this is the thing, what was going viral.
At 22.
Yeah.
How did you know you were ready for that?
I didn't. I just knew that I loved him, and I'd never experienced anything else. I'd never felt any differently than this is who I want to spend the rest of my life with. And so we kind of just dove in. And
did anyone or you or Steph or anyone have any hesitations about oh, we're getting married in our early 20s or no?
No. And I say this all the time to our family. I'm like, you guys, 22. I'm like, you guys. I'm like, not a single parent. Nobody was like, hey guys, are you sure? Everybody was like, no, this is what's happening. And we love you and we love you. And it's going to be great. It's just wow. Totally. When I really look at it.
Well, and again, because there are so many people that may watch this that are like, oh, 22 for them, whether it's because they watched their parents get married young or whatever, it was normal. But you, in the beginning of this interview, started by being like, girl, I didn't even think I wanted to get married.
Yes, exactly.
So it is a big deal that at 22,
It's a mixture of that and a mixture of there are levels to 22. There's different styles of 22-year-olds. But I was the naive, very young, unpolished 22-year-old. I didn't have very much life experience. And so it's just interesting.
It is, but it's, again, I think why I was excited to talk to you is because as women, there's just so many things that happen in our life that we want to plan for. Yeah. And then obviously life just doesn't go as planned. Yeah. And to hear you at a young age getting married, I think and knowing it was such a success, but it doesn't mean the whole ride was easy. That's right. What I'm excited to get into.
Yeah.
So a few months after getting married, you just said
3 months.
Okay. What was going through your head when you found out that news?
I was confused because
How are you confused?
Because my OB said expected to take up to a year. And so I'm like, oh, if in my head I heard at least a year. I was thinking we were going to be like bar hopping. Like, it's like, nope.
Okay, so you hear what she said, right? So they got married at 22 and, they loved each other from what she's saying. But one, she didn't want to get married, and two, she didn't want to have children. But nevertheless, because they were in love, they got married, and shortly they got married, she was pregnant. And, I think now she has 4 children. So this is her history coming to all this platform and everything, okay? So now, this is the part that had the internet. This is the part that broke the internet. But you can see with everything else that she has said, and then she's saying this, it actually makes sense. So now this is the meat of this story. Take a listen to this.
Have to go through as much of the conversation around like fame and spotlight as you and your husband have had to. How did being in the spotlight impact your relationship in the early days? Because you guys didn't know how to handle it.
It's a double-edged sword because parts of it have afforded me doors to be open. I obviously have to walk through them and then put in the work to stay in the room. But that, I think, would be the elephant in the room, is like, I'm grateful for that side of things. But on the flip side, I in the beginning hated it so much. I did not sign up for that. I also always thought I didn't know that he was going to end up playing basketball. He said he wanted to be a high school basketball coach. I thought I was going to be the girl out there getting it. So I didn't know. And so it just it was weird. And sports fans are so different than maybe entertainment world fans. And oftentimes it's very ruthless. And so I think I wasn't expecting that either. I remember one time right after my first was born, she was whiny. So I was like, let me just nurse her in the back seat. And Stefan was putting a bike or something in the trunk. And this woman opens the car door and she sticks her head in and she's like, I just wanted to see the baby. And I'm like, oh, excuse me. And she looks me dead in my face and goes, oh, honey, you know what you signed up for. And then shuts the door on me. And I was just crying because I was postpartum. I was just bawling my eyes out. And I'm like, what? Is this what it's going to be like?
Wow.
And so the beginning phases were kind of scary for me.
And as a woman, did you ever experience any type of direct scrutiny over just you or what you looked like or how you were acting?
Oh, all the time. I feel like I still do. And that's okay. But
how did that impact you though early on when you were I'm still not equipped to handle this? Because now you're seasoned. Yes, it affects you, but you now have the tools of I've been here before. I know exactly how to handle this moment.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it doesn't still hurt.
It was so depressing. And also it was during that time when this social media thing was just ramping up. And so people were going buck wild. And just spewing opinions on things that didn't warrant opinions. And so I think for a while, I was very critical of myself because of the things that I was seeing.
It's so hard also to be the woman in a situation where you're men just don't get as much scrutiny. They can maybe tell him your fucking shot sucked tonight. But the looks and all of that is just not a factor of conversation as much.
No.
Did you talk to Steph about it? Or did you kind of keep it within yourself so it didn't?
I do not have a bone in my body that can keep anything to myself. So if it comes to mind, it's coming out. And he's so gracious. He tries to resonate with me, but he just can't. And he also comes from a place of
why not? Why not?
It's effing stupid. It's not true. So why? And I'm like, but wait, listen to how it makes me feel. And he's like, but why does it make you feel like that? It's not real.
I mean, that's so men where you're no, wait, but I want to talk about it for 4 more hours. Yeah. Can you just sit down and they're like, do you want me to solve it for you?
Yeah.
It's not real. We both know it's not real, blah, blah.
He's like,
no.
Go to bed.
Go to sleep. You're in the bathroom brushing your teeth. You're like, another thing. You pop out. He's like,
quite literally.
Can you share something that was said about you in the early days to just paint the picture?
Gosh,
no one knows.
Me on the spot. Okay, this one's kind of funny.
Okay. Okay. Now it's funny.
This one's kind of funny because at a certain point, I do have a round face.
Oh my God.
So at a certain point, this was true because I was a little weightier. But there was this thing going around that said there's 2 things. It was that I look like SpongeBob's mom. Just look it up after.
Okay.
I felt that way. So then seeing it, I was like, damn.
Ayesha. No.
What else? I think because he's like known for shooting threes, people will say something all the time like, oh, he shoots threes on and off the court. And I'm like, come on.
Well, first of all, 3 plus like a million. Like, you were like so fucking stunning and gorgeous. Like,
sweet.
I don't need to say that to you, but I have to say it because it's also like the people that are writing it are probably threes, but not you. But also,
Oh, man. So I think, yes, I can understand being on a social media. You know, social media will always, if you're a celebrity, that's just how it goes. You know what I mean? It's par for the course. It's the territory. That's just how things work. But I do think in her mind, she feels in a way she was shortchanged because, oh, you were going to be a high school coach. I was going to go out and be this, you know, superstar in Hollywood or something. I don't know. Okay. But the fact of the matter is, we know Ayesha Curry because she's married to Steph Curry. If she wasn't married to Steph Curry, we wouldn't have known her. Okay. But I'm sure she thinks otherwise. Okay. She thinks otherwise. All right. So listen to her.
I didn't want kids. I didn't want to get married. I thought I was going to be career girl and that's it. And I had my eyes set on my goals. And I was never the little girl that like dreamt about the wedding dress and all of that. And then it happened so early in my life. So it's like, it's one of those things like you don't know what you actually don't know what you want.
well, it's so interesting you say that because I want to talk a lot about that today because I relate to you in that way. Like, I really, really never thought I was going to get married. I'm like, there is actually no way that's ever going to happen. And then it happens and you're like, maybe.
So now that you're married, I don't know. I can understand, like, you know, before she didn't know she was going to get married, but now she got married. So what? Does she regret? Is she regretting that she got married? I don't understand. So she was on Jada Pinkett's Red Table, and this is what she said. So this was eye-opening. Take a listen.
To have more compassion and more understanding.
Something that really bothers me and like honestly has given me a sense of a little bit of an insecurity is the fact that, yeah, like there are all these women like throwing themselves, but me, like the past 10 years, like I don't have any of that. Like I have zero, it sounds weird, but like male attention. And so then like I begin to internalize it and I'm like, is something wrong with me?
You're
like,
not looking.
what,
You're not
like,
looking. You're not even looking. But I'm gonna tell
And by the way, she's saying that literally she's sitting next to her mother-in-law. And she said for the past 10 years, she didn't get any male attention. You are married. Not only that, you're married to Steph Curry. Why do you want male attention? Like, why are you why are you feeling so insecure as a married woman to Steph Curry? Why would you be seeking attention from other men other than your husband, Steph Curry, guys? So, and then she's saying this. Her mother-in-law is sitting right there, and this is public, right? So you can imagine the things that she shares privately with her private friends. Because if she can come out and say this, and she thinks this is okay, but she was saying, oh, I'm going to say this. It might sound weird, but for 10 years, okay? Like, no, people know you're married to Steph Curry, so they're going to respect you as a married woman. You know what I'm saying? They're going to respect you as a married woman. Oh, if you're in that environment, in that circle, people know that you're married to Steph Curry, so they respect him. So they're not going to be giving you the so-called male attention. That's your husband's responsibility. You know, so I was just like, it's weird. And then the people you're talking to.
tell you something else too. When your radar's turned off, because I dealt with that for years too, like, and I was young, like you.
Yeah,
like,
that's
oh my
not
God,
fair.
I mean.
Because I don't want it, but
Yeah.
it'd be nice to know that like someone's looking.
But when your radar's turned off, right,
That
you're
could get
beautiful.
Why? Why do you want somebody to be looking? Looking for what? You see what I'm saying? So this tells me, despite everything, right, she's not confident in who she is. And by the way, she claims to be a Christian, okay? She claims to be a Christian. So like, why are you looking for your validation outside by people looking at you? Like, why? Why would you want that? Of all the things, why would you want that? And like, you're married to Steph Curry. You know what I'm saying? So I just like, lady, it's just like, this does not make any sense. You know what I'm saying? But you can see all this, right? It's not just in a vacuum. With where she's coming from in her mind, she, she is in the shadow of her husband, and there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, but in her mind, because she wanted to be the it girl, she wants to be, the girl boss, right? Because she was already doing things prior to Steph Curry. So in her mind, she feels like if Steph wasn't in my life, so to speak, I would have been getting all these things. Now that I've been married for 10 years, I've missed out for guys looking at me. I've missed out for getting this type of attention. And of course, Jada Pinkett, is there, okay, with Will Smith and everything. And we know what happened there. You see what I mean? So this is the problem, that here she's in a situation, married, and there's no scandals to my knowledge as far as Steph Curry is concerned. Beautiful kids, they have everything that other people would love to have, okay? But you have a husband over here. You're still looking for attention, and you want this attention to come from who? From other men to be giving you that type of attention? They're not even married to you. You know what I mean? They didn't marry you to begin with. So to me, it's just like, it's too...
Don't ever think for 1 minute that it ain't some men out there looking at you like, I wish.
Honestly.
And I'm going to tell you who knows that more than anybody.
And I want to ask a question now. All of you made the decision not to try.
Yeah, so we know what happened with Jada, right? Married for what? Over 20 years and stuff. And then come to find out, they ended up like, oh, okay, they opened up their marriage and everything. Now, obvious, okay, they're divorced, but they didn't sign the papers. They were just living together, but their marriage sort of like has ended. So it's just like, these are not the people that can be giving people good advice, because they're not even practicing the things that they're saying. So that was kind of like embarrassing for Steph Curry. For Ayesha Curry to be saying that. So we had this gentleman here decided to weigh in on this issue, okay? So we're going to listen to what he says, and given his situation and his history, as far as, it depends as far as it relates to him, what he did with his wife and everything. Is just like, I don't think you should be doing this, okay? Not you. You need to sit down, okay? So let's see how he's critiquing this situation. Watch this, guys. No, guys. I've played with you guys, right? What she said prior. She already says when she was 3 years old, she was spotted as the talent. She moved by herself to LA. She was working 3 jobs. She's the one who said, I love you to Steph Curry. Okay, so she was already doing things, and that's what she has said. So for him to say like, oh, we have the problem with comprehension. No, we don't. We are hearing what Ayesha Curry is saying. The way he's bringing it is almost like, okay, don't blame her. Okay, it's fine. She wanted to establish herself. No, the girl was already established, guys. Okay, and that's what she said. But what she wanted for the past 10 years was to get attention from other men besides her husband. So we cannot pretend that's not an issue, guys. That was very disrespectful to her husband. That was very embarrassing for Steph Curry. That's just the fact of the matter. Okay? So, but let's hear a little bit more. You see, and by the way, this guy is a relationship guru. Okay, he is a relationship guru. I think now they must be divorced. Cheated on his wife. Everything blew up like you've never seen. So you're out here giving people relationship advice. Okay, and then you are out there known to be cheating with the multiple women and everything. So much so, like, it's just like, so what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? So now you're out here, you're going to carry water for Ayesha Curry. We heard what she said, okay? And yes, is there anything wrong for people to say, woman, the women want to get married right now? What's wrong in the situation that she is in? Right, let's be honest. What is it that she wants to do that she can do right now as married to Steph Curry? What is it that it's in her dream that is sort of like, quote unquote, on hold? Let's be honest. This woman, if she wants to have 10 nannies, she has 4 kids. If she wants to have 10 nannies for all those kids, she can have those 10 nannies tomorrow. Okay? If she wants to have a chef cooking in her house 24 hours, that can happen tomorrow. So that's not the issue that she has. And if tomorrow she wants what? She wants to start her own class. She wants to start her own acting school, whatever else you name it. She can always do that. They have the means. They live in LA, all those things. So I do not believe for any minute, for any second, that Ayesha Curry is out here crying, woe is me, Ayesha Curry, that I failed to do my dreams. I was not able to fulfill the desires that I wanted to do because I was married to Steph Curry. I'm sorry, I do not buy it for a minute. I don't believe it. Because look at their lives, guys, okay? We are outside, yes, looking in. But we know financially, everything else that she would want to have, it's not an issue. Okay? It's not an issue. But she told us herself, all what she wanted was to be able to have attention from other men. And we cannot sit here and say, oh, that's actually a good goal for a woman to be seeking attention from other men other than her husband. No. You cannot tell me her wanting attention from other men is her fulfilling her purpose. That's a lie. Wasn't she? I think she was on a cooking show. I think she has some, a line. She has good things going on for her. Okay, so I don't buy that. It's almost like, okay, I put my dreams on hold. No, lady, you went to LA at 17 years old. You were out there chasing your dream, and you got married at some point. So, let's not pretend otherwise, okay? I think for her, she just resents, people know her because of Steph Curry, and which is true, and there's nothing wrong with that. So in her mind, if Steph Curry wasn't in her life, she would have still been, who knows? You know what I mean? Like A-list actress in Hollywood, which I very much doubt. All right. Yeah, so this relationship guru, this is the word that they like to use, authenticity, okay? Somebody needs to be authentic. I am not against that. We welcome that. It's actually a good thing for somebody to be. However, we cannot substitute the truth. We need to be able to call out something if it's wrong. Just because somebody is being authentic about it, we don't have to be silent about it, okay? This lady, she's saying that she put her dreams in a back burner. Do you honestly believe that she has put her dreams on a back burner? I don't buy it. If you're married, you and your husband, you are a one fresh union, okay? Your husband is the head of your household, okay? He has the male headship of the house. Your responsibility is to submit to that leadership. That's the role of a woman, okay? And that's the role of a man. Are you guys telling me that in their situation, Steph Curry should stop playing basketball, okay? That's his job, by the way, right? It's providing, taking care of everything. Right? So he should stop doing all that. And then this lady should go out there and audition. And to be honest, she can still do that. It's not like she can't do those things. Let's not pretend like this lady is all like, okay, she has to be, how do I say it? If this woman wants to go for auditioning, right, because she wants to be doing acting, she can actually go. She can take all her 4 kids and her, whatever, 10, 12 nannies, okay, and go and audition. They have the means, she can do that. So she's not in a situation that if she wants to achieve certain things that she cannot, okay? But in the situation whereby, for example, where the husband is busy, is in playoffs and everything else, yes, there are certain things that she's not going to be able to do given the season of the life that they're in. But for her coming out complaining all this to me, I did not buy it, guys, okay? This is just like, she does sound very ungrateful. That's exactly how she sounds. Like you're sounding over here as a very ungrateful woman instead of you enjoying your marriage, enjoying your husband, enjoying all this that you have, okay? And just using for the glory of God, given that you're a Christian woman, but you're out here complaining. Okay, so just like, what are you complaining about? Huh? What are you complaining about? That the people are not giving you attention? Who do you want? Why are you asking for this attention? You want who to give you this attention? So, to me, I was just like, oh, so good.
Her marriage. She was processing what it means to have her entire identity consumed by somebody else's spotlight before she had a chance to build her own. That is called grief, not a lack of gratitude. And it's like there's this idea that a woman who is married to a wealthy man, or even just a likable one, has essentially forfeited their right to feel anything other than complete bliss. That's exactly why so many women stay silent about their struggles, because their pain is going to get dismissed with, well, look at what you have and you should feel so lucky. Like a woman can spend years being wife goals, the most supportive partner in the world, but the moment that they admit their personal journey came with some sacrifices, y'all want to make them the bad guy. At the end of the day, Steph Curry knows this woman better than anybody else, longer than any of us talking, and if he can handle her being honest about her experience, why can't y'all? Like, your fake outrage on behalf of him being embarrassed by her is really just your discomfort with anyone who's not willing to perform happiness for your consumption. But those are just my thoughts. Y'all let me know what you think down in the comments.
We don't buy it, Derrick. Okay, that's our take on it.
It's official. Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, has totally.
No, that's not our topic, right? That's not what we're discussing right now. Sorry about that. So yeah, and if this is what she was experiencing, right? Let's say this is not the conversation she should be having publicly. It's embarrassing to her husband, and that's just a fact. This is the things that she can be discussing with her husband. If there is an area within their marriage where she feels like she's not getting the attention that she wants, you know what I mean? Because you already have a husband, right? So the question to ask is, why do you feel the need that you want to be getting this attention from other people to be looking at you? Why? You know what I mean? So there's a deeper thing there that she is missing, that between her and her husband, they can get to the bottom of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, what makes you feel this way? What is it that you want from your husband in order for you to stop feeling this way? It's not like it's, that can be resolved. It can absolutely be resolved. But it's just like, okay, there are things that you need to be wise as a married woman. You cannot just come out here, especially a public figure, and just saying things. It might not be a big deal between you two, but a whole bunch of people are watching, they're looking. You know what I'm saying? It does not set a very good example. If that's how she's feeling, nobody has to know certain things about you guys, okay? No, take care of certain things privately. Just because you're a public figure, that doesn't mean you need to be spilling all your beans out to the public. And this is how it gets here. So, yes, I saw that Derrick was commenting and everything. I was just like, okay, how come why don't you practice the very same things that you're saying, given the situation that he had with his wife, okay? And I think it's sort of like it's still ongoing. So just like, these people who are relationship gurus, it's just like, what? It's time for you to sit down. Sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. Yes. All right, guys, I am so glad that you guys are here, but I came across another, switching gears, okay? So there's this lady on TikTok. I don't know what her name is, but she says that she's Christian, she's single, and she's pregnant, okay? So let's hear what she's telling us, how all this thing came to be. I was just like, man, do do these things go together? All right, let's listen to her.
Okay, so Christian, single, pregnant. That is my situation right now, and it's something that I've been talking about, and I'm going to continue to talk about it. But today, and I did not want to do this, I really didn't, but I honestly felt led to. So today, I am going to speak specifically to my family and friends who interact with my social media. So, Christian, single, pregnant, that is my situation right now, but that's not going to be my story forever. And after this video, I'm probably not going to even use that title anymore, but I'm trying to speak to a specific group of women, so that's where we're at for right now. Today, I want to tell y'all about how I literally cried like almost every day up until like my second trimester, right? So that's like every day for like almost 5 months straight. And the crazy thing is, I wasn't just crying because of the way I felt that man did me. I was crying because before getting pregnant, I was on a journey of 5 years of abstinence, okay? 5 of them. And within that 5 years, I had grown deeply in love with God. And I had also got to know like who I am as a woman. And so like part of me was like so upset that I even allowed that to happen and that I chose the person that I chose. Another part of that was shame and guilt, because I knew for a fact that I did not want to be my child's father, and I tried to make it work. I really did. I tried to, sit through it, but God clearly showed me that it was a no. And for some of you ladies who, you're longing for a situation to work with somebody and you just hope that they get right, I want to highly recommend that you remember your worth, okay? Remember your worth. And if you have to convince somebody to be better for you, they're not for you. But anyways, I was really upset with myself, okay? It was just a lot going through my mind. I am someone who I was dealing with a father wound for a very long time, like a lot of my life. I'm someone that saw my mom be a single mother, and I know the effects that had on me. I know the effects that it had on my mom. And so I'm like, I can't believe that I put myself and my child in this situation where I don't know what type of father this man will be. I know what type of mother I'm going to be, but I don't know what will happen. And it just...
Okay, so obviously, I'm sure you've already heard, they always try to put, but God told me no. Okay. So are you telling me that God was not telling you no prior to you meeting this guy? Because if this guy was not good, which means if God is all-knowing, which we do believe that God is all-knowing, but God did not warn you prior for you getting together with this guy from the beginning? Because, you see, this is the problem. These people, whenever they want to justify their sinful situation, their sinful behavior, they always try to bring a spiritual component to it. That way, it's going to disarm you, okay? But you have to remember, what is the character of God, right? God is loving, okay? So if God is loving, he knows that this person is not good for you. He's not going to let you be in that situation. But these people, they don't want to believe what the word of God has said. They'll be like, you know what, I think this is what God wants. No, guys, okay? God does not want people to be participating in the fruits, partaking in the fruits, right? Those you're supposed to be participating in marriage. So what are you doing with this guy who has not put a ring on it, whom you know by your own mouth, you testify that he wasn't no good? So please, guys, okay, we do certain things because it's our flesh. We want to do these things. We are sinners. We should just acknowledge, like, you know what? I was just in my flesh doing what I wasn't supposed to be doing. I was just being disobedient, as opposed to be lying like, oh, but God said, no. God did not say any of this thing.
Really brought me back to how I felt as a child. The times that I cried, the times that I was upset, it was really getting to me. I just couldn't believe that I made a decision that would literally, put my child in this, possibly put my child in this situation that I was in. And then one day, out of them 5 months that I was crying and trying to figure out why, and I was, woe is me, and I can't believe I did that, and I can't believe he did that, I can't believe he said that, I woke up, okay? And when I woke up, I decided that I'm nobody's victim, all right? You cannot be more than a conqueror and a victim at the same time. Like, you just can't. And so I literally decided that, whatever happened, how it happened, at the end of the day, like, I played a role in that, right? So I had to hold myself accountable for what I did, what I allowed, and had to go and figure out, like, how do I work my way up out of this, okay? Because one thing that I have realized is, in any situation, whether it's a job, whether it's a relationship with a person, it's like a family relationship, people literally only do what you will allow, okay? People do what you allow. Just like the enemy can only do to you, he can only go so far of what you've allowed in the spiritual realm by way of sin, or, what your family has allowed because of sin in the bloodline, transgression, iniquity. People and the enemy can only go as far as you allow them. And so I had to be honest with myself.
Okay, so this is also, the Bible does not teach this, okay? It's very prevalent. People like to talk about it, generational curses, sin in the bloodline, all those other things. No. You are responsible for the things that you do. And there are consequences to the sin that we do, okay? You're going to experience these consequences because of your sin. You are going to experience consequences because of what your parents are doing, or what your parents have done. Consequences and curses are two different things, okay? There are absolutely generation consequences, right? Like, you as a parent, you decide not to take care of your children. Something happens to them, right? And then they learn bad behavior from you. They are going to be practicing those things to your grandchildren. All those other things, right? Those things are going to happen. However, you are responsible for the things that you do. It does not matter that your environment put you in that situation. The environment is the environment, but sin is embodied, right? So you did that. So she is in this situation not because her mom was in that situation. According to her, she could have stopped. She stayed 5 years. Okay, she wasn't she was keeping herself until this guy showed up, and here she is. So we don't want to use our past, our trauma, or our circumstances as a reason of why we do the things that we do, especially when it comes to sin. Sin is sin. You're not going to stand before God and say, like, oh, it was my husband. This is what Adam tried. You know what I mean? When God was asking, Adam, where are you? Have you eaten of the fruit? And Adam, oh, it's the woman whom you gave me, right? So here is Adam blaming the woman, because he was like, I was chilling. I was here by myself. I never asked for this woman. You brought this woman to me. And look what she has done. So now you're in this situation. Oh, it's because of my parents. Oh, it's because of it. No. Okay? Do not blame your sinfulness to other people. Take responsibility, which according to her, she's saying she's taking responsibility, which is good.
As it relates to that, okay? Fornication is something that we should not be playing with, okay? It's not anything to play with. And in fact, the Bible talks about how fornication is like, it's not only sin against God, but it's sin against yourself. Like, it's sin against your own body, right? You are literally allowing someone access to something that God made to be holy. And so I had to come to terms with that, and I had to repent, and I had to let that thing go. And part of letting that thing go was me deciding that I was going to enjoy my journey as a mother. I was going to enjoy my journey as someone who God is still building, shaping, and molding, somebody who he is going to, increase in business, in the realm of the spirit, all the things. I decided I was going to enjoy my journey. And in order for me to do that, I needed to unpack some things and figure out why. Why did I actually allow that? Why did I get myself in this situation? Why did I feel comfortable enough to do something that I said that I would not ever do again? All right. It's to the point my family was like, oh, you must have really loved him because you don't let nobody touch your arm. You don't let nobody touch you at all. So you must have really loved him. Okay. And so I had to figure out, like, why did I do that? Okay. And that came with deliverance. Okay. Multiple deliverance sessions. That came with therapy, and not just any therapist, like a Christian therapist.
Okay. So I'm not against people going to therapy, but this is what we're getting these days, especially even Christians. Therapy. There are certain things that you have done. It's sin. You need to repent and just be faithful in your work. And she said she had to have multiple deliverance. What do you mean by that? Because if you've done something, you've repented, God is faithful to forget your sin as far as the east is from the west. You don't have to be delivered, right? We were already delivered from the domain of darkness into his marvelous light, if you are a true born-again Christian. So, so the deliverance issue.
My therapist is a psychiatrist, and she is a woman of God, and she sees in the realm of the spirit, okay? And so
so what are we doing now? We are in a new age. She sees in the realm of the spirit. What does that mean? No, that's a lie. That's not true. Okay. Where we go to the word of God because God has spoken. This idea that people are seeing things, whatever, then now you're going into witchcraft territory. You're going into necromancy. You're going to what? Palm readings and everything else. Which spiritual realm that she's seeing? What exactly is she seeing? Where is she getting those powers to be able to see things that are happening in the spiritual realm? That's not true.
I'm sharing that piece because in order for you to truly take accountability and like choose yourself, because that's what I did. I chose myself, I chose God, and I chose my child. If I am not my best self and I'm over here trying to figure out why man did me wrong and why the things turned out the way that it did and why did I make that decision, if I stay stuck on that, then that's what I'm going to give to my child. And I refuse to do that. So deliverance, therapy, and I'm still in therapy, and then just running back to God, okay? Running back to God. And so for some of you ladies who you find yourself like you're stuck in the guilt, you stuck in the shame, like I encourage you to like go and figure out why did you do what you did, but figure it out in like a intentional way. So I went and I told my therapist everything that has happened. Okay, everything that I've experienced with my child's father, everything that he done said, everything that I done said, what we did, what is the, and you know what she did? She helped me go back and trace why I liked him in the first place. And then she also went and traced that back to the voids that I had on the inside of me. And she went and traced that back to a relationship with one of my parents that was lacking. And I ended up finding what I felt that parent didn't give me in that man that I gave myself to. Okay.
Oh.
Spiritually, or they're further than you are. Okay. Because you don't want to fall back.
Yeah. So that part, what she says over there, there is some truth to that. Okay. Sometimes because that's why it is so important. They think that children should be brought up in a two-parent home. And because this is how God has designed. Because there's things you're going to get from your mom, things you're going to get from your dad. And when those things are missing, you are going to look for those things someplace else. Unbeknownst to you, those are things you are actually going to do. So these are the consequences that somebody is going to experience because of the environment that they were in. That is absolutely true, for real, right? So in her mind, right, she found herself in this situation. She was, preserving herself, met this guy for whatever the reason. She must have been attracted to this, to this guy. And then she had already told us that, okay, God had approved on this guy, okay? So, and then here she is, okay? I think, we're almost there. All right, fine. Let's see a little bit more.
As someone who God is still building, shaping, and molding, somebody who he is going to, increase in business, in the realm of the spirit, all the things. I decided I was going to enjoy my journey. And in order for me to do that, I needed to unpack some things and figure out why. Why did I actually allow that? Why did I get myself in this situation? Why did I feel comfortable enough to do something that I said that I would not ever do again? All right. It's to the point my family was like, oh, you must have really loved him because you don't let nobody touch your arm. You don't let nobody touch you at all. So you must have really loved him. Okay. And so I had to figure out, like, why did I do that? Okay. And that came with deliverance. Okay. Multiple deliverance sessions. That came with therapy, and not just any therapist, like a Christian therapist. My therapist is a psychiatrist, and she is a woman of God, and she sees in the realm of the spirit. Okay. And so I'm sharing that piece because in order for you to truly take accountability and like choose yourself, because that's what I did. I chose myself, I chose God, and I chose my child. If I am not my best self and I'm over here trying to figure out why man did me wrong and why the things turned out the way that it did and why did I make that decision, if I stay stuck on that, then that's what I'm going to give to my child. And I refuse to do that. So deliverance, therapy, and I'm still in therapy, and then just running back to God, okay? Running back to God. And so for some of you ladies who you find yourself like you're stuck in the guilt, you stuck in the shame, like I encourage you to like go and figure out why did you do what you did, but figure it out in like a intentional way. So I went and I told my therapist everything that has happened. Okay, everything that I've experienced with my child's father, everything that he done said, everything that I done said, what we did, what is the, and you know what she did? She helped me go back and trace why I liked him in the first place. And then she also went and traced that back to the voids that I had on the inside of me. And she went and traced that back to a relationship with one of my parents that was lacking. And I ended up finding what I felt that parent didn't give me in that man that I gave myself to. Okay. And so this is somebody that I forgave and I moved forward, but the voids were still open. Okay. And so I, not even knowingly, my soul, okay, my soul was still fragmented, and I allowed that person to fill those holes that God was supposed to fill. And so that was deep revelation for me. Okay, because even as God was unfolding that in therapy, when I went to my deliverance session, the deliverance minister spoke completely to that area. Okay, and ministered deliverance to that area. And not only that, God had gave me this dream. I'm gonna say this and then I'm just gonna get off of here because my videos be long, y'all. God gave me a dream of my child's father and we were living in a home together, and I was pregnant. It looked like I was getting ready to give birth soon. And someone kept knocking on our door, same time every night, to the point where I expected it. And he would never answer the door. And I told him to answer the door. Like, the door is somebody gonna knock on the door. He's like, nobody be knocking on the door. I'm like, yes, they are. And as a matter of fact, they about to knock on the door in about 5 minutes. Wait and see. And the time that I said that person knocked on the door, and I said, I need you to open the door and figure out what it is, because I don't need that person coming to bother me. He went and opened up the door, and through the door ran a lady. She had a baby on her hip, and she was also pregnant, her pregnant belly, and she came and sat in a room with me. She didn't say nothing to him, didn't say nothing to me. She just sat on a chair in a room, and she looked at me. And so I asked my child's father, I said, is that your baby? And he looked at her, he looked at me, and he shook his head and said, yeah. And so the crazy thing is, in that dream, it was my child's father, but it was in the countenance of my actual father. Like, he looked like my dad, but I knew that that was my child's father. And God spoke so much through that dream. He showed me that there was a familiar spirit, okay, that I was with, and also that that person was not my covering. So when you ask God why, He'll show you why. And that's why it's important for you to do the work so that you can get the deliverance and the answers that you need, and you never do that thing again. Okay. So yeah, just wanted to share that before I dive into the other things. All right.
So I'm so glad that she, things didn't work out with the baby daddy, but she's keeping the baby. Okay. So that's actually a good thing. I'm glad that she's keeping the baby. But this is also the problem that, to me, a lot of women are finding themselves in trouble. A lot of women are finding themselves in bondage because they attribute things to God that did not come from God. Why? It's because they don't know their scriptures. They are not in the word. So they're just going to feel like, oh, this is from God. So there is no way, guys, okay? If, let's grant, this is what God was telling her, right? Why would God wait for all this time? And in fact, why would God even bring that joker to this woman, knowing that he's not going to stay in her life, take care of the baby? You know what I'm saying? But God wants children to grow up in a home with mom and daddy. Does that make sense to you? You see what I'm saying? So no, that was not of the Lord. And just because you had a dream, that doesn't mean God gave you the dream, okay? Like you were just dreaming. Everybody dreams. We live in this world, right? You are going to have dreams. You dreaming about your baby when you're pregnant, there's nothing strange about that. You dreaming about your baby daddy, there's nothing strange about that, guys, okay? We have dreams. It's just part of life and everything. But every time you're walking in life, now when you're attributing things, God said this, God said this, and God did not say those things, you are going to give an account to those things. So do not lie on God. The things that you've done, take responsibility, repent, and move on. That's it. Stop trying to find places to put things that don't belong there. So she's been making these videos, obviously, on TikTok. She says that she's Christian, she's single, and then she's pregnant. So it's this idea like, okay, like, you know what I mean? Like, yes, all these things. I'm not saying somebody cannot sin because that they're Christian, right? But my encouragement to this lady, it'll be helpful for her to be in a good church, because it looks like everything she's eating up the therapist, because the therapist is seeing things in a spiritual realm. I have no idea what that means. I absolutely have no idea what that means, but this is where things are at. All right, guys, I'm so glad that you guys are here. But, so many things have happened today, okay? So today is all over the place. Switching gears. So I don't have to do this again. We can just do it now. So you guys, as you are aware, everybody's tired of Candace Owens, okay? I am tired of Candace Owens. So Lady Candy, as I call her, Lady Candy. She was on this gentleman from England. I always forget his name, okay? Piers Morgan, okay? And, man, Candace, okay, so Candace had a private meeting with Ayesha Curry. And during this private meeting, she ended up, she had the private meeting. According to her, the private meeting was 4.5 hours. After the 4.5 hours, she came out and do a short video telling her audience that I didn't drink anything, because her audience had told her, when you go there, make sure you don't drink anything, okay? Like, they're going to delete her or something. So she gave an update. Okay, so she gave an update of what transpired. And according to her, she asked all the questions that she wanted to ask. And Ayesha Curry answered every question that she wanted to ask. And she was satisfied. At least that's what she indicated. That she was satisfied, but she's going to continue to do what she's doing. Okay? So, yesterday she did the video. Okay, so she did a video. Now, when she came back from the video that she did, because it was live, it was, when I saw it, it was 325,000 people watching live, wanting to get the download from what happened, what transpired. And her fans were not having it. Okay, they left comments on her page, and I want you guys to see the comments. Wait a minute. This is the video, right? This is the video. Okay, how do we see the comments then? Hold on, okay?
put the cameras down. He lied to me several times. I explained to them, which felt.
So she, man, this lady, man, I was just like, Candice, you better stop. Wait a minute. How do I see the comments? Because these are the likes. Man, hold on, guys. Because there were a whole bunch of comments that people left on her page. Okay, I guess I can just go to Twitter then. Let's see if I find them here. Because this was crazy.
Felt good to have that direct communication, how Terrell lied multiple times. And that I did not understand why he was there that day. They echoed what he said. Yeah. They defended what he said, that they were trying something new that day.
I'll see if I can find it, okay? So, but this is what's going on Twitter now. All right, let's share real quick so you guys can see. We can deal with Lady Candy. Here we go, guys.
Obviously, for this to have been pulled off, there had to have been multiple people involved. There had to have been people at Turning Point that were complicit in having this happen. I didn't say that they murdered Charlie.
You said that people at Turning Point were complicit in his murder.
No, my exact sentence that I said was that there were people at Turning Point who are engaged in a cover-up.
No, you didn't.
I believe that thoroughly.
Candice, you didn't say that. You said literally.
I did say that on my entire show.
You said there were people at Turning Point complicit in his murder.
Okay.
That's what you said.
Obviously, for this to have been pulled off, there had to have been multiple people involved. There had to have been people at Turning Point that were complicit in having this happen.
You said complicit in the murder. Because I said who at Turning Point was involved in his murder.
And let me clarify for you. Okay, you can keep saying what I said or you can listen to what I am saying.
Okay.
When I was using the analogy of JFK and we were connecting it, I was basically pushing back on you because you were suggesting that, all of these people being involved would be crazy. So I was applying the analogy
I said, I don't know.
JFK. Well, you actually, if you go back and listen.
I said, I don't know JFK's assassination. And we recently had a lot of the files released, which did not conclusively prove any of these things, right? Now, again, I don't know what happened to JFK.
No,
make it clear.
Piers, I really think you're not holding on to your thoughts.
Candice, let me spell out my thought very.
There had to have been people at Turning Point that were complicit in having this happen. My entire
You said there were people at Turning Point complicit in his murder.
Okay.
That's what you said.
You see, that's how she operates. She just said that there were people at Turning Point complicit, but then she said that's not what she said. Okay? So Piers Morgan did put Lady Candice her feet to the fire, guys. Okay? It was just like, no, Candice, this is what you said. Okay? We need you have some explanation to do because her fans have turned on her. Yeah, it's crazy.
Question, which I should have done from the very beginning.
But let me ask you.
Showing that these planes were tracking Charlie. At various times there were Erica is, various times there were Rob McCoy is. But the consistent thread here is faith events, like Kingdom to the Capitol tour.
Assuming you're right, and I don't know, but I know Erica Kirk, when asked about this, said on CBS, if you want to go through my flight log, go right ahead. It's very boring. You, Candice, say I was here on this date. I have a photo on my phone to prove I was actually in hospital having contractions. So that's one thing she's directly repudiated. But let's assume for a moment you're right, and that all these Egyptian planes were flying around tracking Charlie Kirk and Turning Point, Faith and Erica Kirk. Why? What is your theory?
I don't know.
Well, what's your theory then? You must have an idea.
My theory is that we should investigate everything strange that happened on that day so we can figure out what happened.
But are you suggesting that? Are you suggesting
why is everybody why are we pretending that we don't know why we ask questions? Like, why? Like, you're a journalist.
You know
what this is. You're like, what's going on? What's going on? Why do you want to know why these planes were tracking Charlie? Well, my theory is that we are being sold absolute Fed slop. The media is doing their Operation Mockingbird Part 2 scenario by telling us, well, unless you absolutely have a conclusion, you can't even ask the question. Yes, we very well can. Keep asking consistent questions until we get a clarified explanation for what happened on that day. And right now, we have nothing, okay? And that is the reason why people are watching my show, because I'm the only one not treating them like they're absolute idiots who don't have two eyes and who believe in magic bullet theory.
Guys, Candice is crashing. She's crashing like you've never seen. So this is the first interview that she had with Piers Morgan after meeting Erica Kirk on Monday, okay? So it looks like Erica Kirk traveled to go and meet Candice Owen, okay? Flew to Nashville. And they met at a hotel 4.5 hours. Okay? After that meeting, Candice decided to speak to her fans and she had nothing. So the plane issue has been debunked. Erica said, no, she wasn't followed by the plane. It's a lie. And somebody else did the same thing. Find out that, okay, these are just, like how we have planes in the air going to different places and everything else. 66% of the Egyptian planes she was talking about were not even in the American airspace, guys. It was someplace else. So all that fell apart. She had claimed that McCoy did not call Erica Kirk. They gave her the phone log. And it shows that, yes, Mike McCoy did call Eric. And Candice, oh no, but he called his wife first. That's not the issue. Did Mike McCoy call Erica? Yes or no? Yes. Then why are you doing this? So it looks like everything she was talking about, it has unraveled. It has unraveled big time. So even her OnlyFans says, when people meet in private, okay, you shake hands, you can't deal in private. So now they are eating her up, leopard eating faces, right? Like, oh, you also got call, you also got paid. My theory is, I think Erica went to her, okay, because obviously they're public figures, right? You can say things, it's very difficult to prove defamation. But if somebody has shown you the proof, like, okay, you said this, you said this. If she comes back on air and say things, then Erica can sue her and they can win the case. Because now they can prove she knew the truth, but she decided not to take the truth. And word on the street is, Candice hated Charlie Kirk. I repeat, Candice hated Charlie Kirk. According to Timpu, there are text messages that prove Candice hated Charlie Kirk. At least 2 months prior to Charlie Kirk dying, those text messages are out there allegedly. But Candice was only showing messages between her and Charlie Kirk in 2018. Erica Kirk has Charlie Kirk's phone. So I could imagine, I think Erica Kirk just showed the text message to Candice, like, this is what was transpiring, sweet, you know what, Lady Candy, you better stop. So now she's unraveling, she's crashing. So we are here to watch it all.
And who understands that Egyptian planes should not have been tracking Charlie even 3 times this year would be an anomaly, okay? They've been tracking him. We don't know where it's going to end, but we are going to keep asking questions until we get clear answers.
Candice, it may be that the person in the media spewing bullshit to the public is you.
No, nice try. It's not. It's you by saying, why are you asking questions? Don't you worry about Mikey's feelings? Everyone knows what this is. And like I said, because we have the example, the concrete example of after JFK's assassination, the media members quite literally being put on the payroll of the CIA, we have a historical example that we can look at and go, we're not doing that again. Doesn't matter how many times you keep telling the public that I'm spewing bullshit. It is only because there has not been anything that has come out of this investigation that makes any sense that the public is not listening to, I am sorry to say this, peers, people like you. And what I love about you and I sitting down is that this exact same time last year, you were doing the same weird questioning and making all these things when I said that they were committing a Holocaust against the Gazans, and then you changed your mind.
Actually, this
time, I'll see you next year when you change your mind again, and we have more information about what happened, and you realize that the difference between me and you is that I have the courage to take the risks and ask the questions first, okay, before it's popular. You wait until it becomes popular, and then you change your mind.
You may remember that one of your courageous moves was to repeatedly tell the world that Brigitte Macron is a man.
Yes, and Candice is still going on the Brigitte Macron. Let me see, because I was just like, this was interesting. So I don't have to do
what you're actually saying. So when you say that somebody at Turning Point USA, Charlie's company...
We did that. So Twitter, all this is on Twitter. Everybody is just talking about this. So yes, Candice, she's frustrated. So she tweeted this out. And she had to delete this tweet, okay? She says, okay, I'm a bit frustrated by the comments here, talking about the comments on her page. Foremost, I was only given the option for a closed-door meeting. Can anybody demand an option for Candice Owen? Like now she's saying, like almost she was a victim of a closed-door meeting. No, Candice, okay? She's been shown the door. I obviously agreed to it. It was almost 5 hours long. I need more time to digest. I just wanted to present the facts to you all today of what they said without any of my innuendo because there is a lot to digest. She didn't bring anything, guys. So this is her complaining about the text messages. So yes, everybody is out here complaining to Candice. So these are the Candice Owen says her meeting with Erica K was productive and says she's very happy that we are on a much better fit. But her fans... You can't read that far, but this is what they're saying. And they say, people may call this dumb, but Candice looking to the right match mic, my phone call doesn't add up. So all these are fans giving her money, but they're just calling her out on her page. It was crazy. Okay.
Happen in the background. I am, just to say this, very happy that we are on much better feet and that we have opened the lines of communication. I do genuinely think that Justin Strife did a great job reffing that conversation yesterday. And I also do want to shout out Megyn Kelly, because we were trying to make this happen in the background really since Blake Neff fumbled the first invite. And thank you. That's in large part because of you guys at home that were like, what the F was that? And I think that they got enough flack that they were like, okay, we got to fix this. But I want to commend him for making that happen, for being the person that, you know, kind of rolled up his sleeves and was like, okay, let's actually make a conversation happen. And
so those are the comments, super chats coming in on Candice's program, just calling her out left and right. So yes, Twitter was, everybody was just laughing. This person put their advertising. This is just a word salad. Somebody paid $50 to tell this Candice to her face, this is just a word salad. She's rambling. And to say, but you are not passing the vibe check, the market is always right. And the chat is overwhelming saying you are not the same. So her own people turn against Candice, telling her a whole bunch of things. So it went on and on. So all this, what did this person say? Charlie is alive. She's too happy to have been blackmailed. Nothing she's saying is making sense. Yes. So they're even accusing her now that now you are in cahoots with Turning Point USA. Guys, oh, this was funny. This was so funny. A whole bunch of stuff. So yeah. So Candice, you know, she broke the internet. She broke the internet. So yeah, that's what happened. Candice broke the internet. It was so crazy with her crazy self. So yeah, let's see. So people were not happy at all with Candice as far as with this Charlie situation is concerned. I was so surprised that I wasn't able to see at the comments here, because there was a whole bunch of people just, you know, commenting. I guess for some reason, I don't know why I cannot see that. Yeah, I was going to show you guys so you can see. But yeah, at least Twitter had those. So yes, it's been going on and on for Candice. So yeah, so hopefully, I don't know if she's going to change. She doesn't strike me somebody who is going to change in any way, shape, or form. It looks like she's just what? She's just going to continue. She's continuing. But yeah, no. Twitter is eating Candice up. And the interview with Piers Morgan did not go well, because Piers Morgan pressed her very, very hard. She couldn't explain herself. Yeah. All right, guys, we gotta leave it there. Okay. I know Candice Owen, I was just like, man, this lady, she definitely needs help. What Candice needs is the gospel. She needs to repent and believe the gospel and just move on with her life. Yeah. I personally didn't think, I still believe it was not a good idea for Erica to be having this meeting with Candice. It's not, so what? So now there's just speculation, right? They had a meeting in private. We don't know what was said. It was a 4-hour meeting. Who said what? So people are just going to fill in the blanks. You know what I mean? And especially, Erica is the one who actually went to Nashville, all the way from Arizona, to go to Nashville to have a meeting with Candice. Like, why? Why would you even do that? And yet they had planned that they were going to discuss this publicly at Turning Point USA. They didn't do that. But whatever transpired at that meeting, it looks like it has clipped Candice Owen wings, to be quite honest, because even her own people turned against her. So, and she said the meeting was productive. To me, my opinion, I think they showed her and they threatened her, like, you know what? If you continue like this, we are going to sue you. And they have the goods on her. And she knows if they take her to court, she's not going to win. So she has to pivot. So I see today, I think she must have been talking about Kash Patel and everybody else. You notice, like, she's not going to be, the stuff that she was doing, she's not going to be doing the stuff that she was doing. Since she had that meeting with Erica Kirk, it looks like they got to her. And everybody is laughing at her. Everybody's talking about her. Like, oh, Candice. Even her own people, you can see the comments. Even if you go to her page, on her YouTube page, the comments that took place yesterday, it's insane. I went there, I was just like, wait a minute. They've turned on her. It's crazy. I was just like, yeah, Candice, you create the monster, you feed the monster. So it looks like the monsters are going back to roast to Candace. So yeah, let me see how many people she had today, because it looks like even today, the people were like, no, Candace, we're not doing this. She must have had less people today than what she had yesterday. Let's see. At some point, she must have had, let's see, 3 hours, 7, 8, 8. We'll see. She always had a whole bunch of people watching her, you know. But when I saw yesterday, she had 300. Today was about 166, which is a lot of people, by the way, which is a lot of people. If she had, yesterday, she had 325,000 people watching. Today, last I saw, she had 166,000 watching. So that's kind of like, but that's a lot of people, okay? So I think she's the biggest streamer right now as far as YouTube is concerned. So she, you know, she's getting the bag and she has the numbers. So yeah. Then she, after she did the program, she told the people that today she was going to bring the evidence and everything. I don't think she brought any evidence, if you ask me. Let's see what she said over here.
Ready. I am telling you, get ready. We have an explosive episode today. Actually, I should say it's a non-explosive episode, and you'll see why. We're going to jump right into this because after yesterday's episode, we were contacted by a variety of people with information, and it's time to state unequivocally that the steel neck quotation did not come from the surgeon. Okay, not only that, but it's odd that federal agents were, I would say, too involved at the hospital. When I tell you this story, your jaw is going to hit the floor. We also have never before seen photos of the vehicle. I know I sound like a fed here. That I love the details. You know, I love details. I'm a detail-oriented person, and these ones are fun and curious, okay? So the story goes, you remember, again, this would have been shortly after the shot went off. So I we're probably looking within whatever I want to get rid of this vehicle. You're going to want to make sure that you have tons of pictures.
Yeah, just skimming over here, I think, yeah, she has definitely changed. She'll be talking about everybody else, but you see, she'll stay away from Turning Point. She'll stay away. If she talks about Turning Point, it'll be in general terms. They got to her. They showed her the paperwork. You keep going down this rabbit hole, we are going to sue you. So she's already fighting the lawsuit with the Macron. I don't think she can afford to have another lawsuit with 10 Point USA. So she'll be coming after the other people, you know what I mean? The security team, the FBI, UVU, all these other things. But she'll stay away from implicating Erica Kirk. They got to her. That's the only conclusion. God is. You create the monster, you feed the monster, okay? So this is what she had yesterday, but she wasn't saying anything.
That they typically live stream, which is what Terrell said. They typically live stream, and I said every college event. Well, they said, well, yeah, they live stream the events that are tour stops, but they don't live stream like the outside prove me wrong type events. And that was something that was new, and it required Terrell. And I said, even if that was all real, if that was all true, I still didn't feel good about the conversation that I had with Terrell, and I can't ignore my gut about the many little lies that he told. What is being discussed publicly, you are this whole like non-expert problem with like, well, you don't know. It's like what you read.
Did you're
assumed that one of the
yeah, so that's why people were disappointed, because they thought she was going to come in and say things, right? What transpired with the meeting, but she came back empty-handed. So people were not pleased with Candace. So we'll see. She's gonna continue to be doing what she's doing, but it looks like time is up. Her time is up. All right, guys, we gotta leave it there. Yes, I think people are so tired with Candace at this point. She's been on this issue. Nothing, bagger, okay? We're gonna wait. They're gonna go to trial. They will go to trial. They're doing the investigation. So, yeah, she had a run. She made a back, whatever. It is what it is. Yeah, I just didn't think. And then Meghan Carey was also involved with this thing, but, failing to denounce Candace and Brandon Tatum, the same thing. So this is the problem with these people. They all operate, they call it no enemies to the right, okay? If you're interested with the truth, you need to be able to speak to the truth, okay? And call the things. If something is wrong, something is wrong. But they decided, Meghan Carey, she wasn't going to say anything, playing both sides. because she knows, it's almost like they like what Candice is doing, but they want to pretend like they don't like what Candice is doing. Brandon Tatum did the same thing, talked about Tucker Carlson and everybody else. Candice is doing even worse, but no, they're not going to say anything about Candice. And then come to find out, allegedly, all this merch that Candice has, Brandon is the one who does that. So obviously, he's not going to say anything against Candice because that's a big paycheck. You know what I mean? So just like, you people are very compromised. You're too quick to call out other people things, but when things are happening inside the MAGA tent, they don't want to call it out and everything, right? Yeah. Even what happened, the gentleman who died in Hollywood, he's the producer, you know what I mean? Like, and alive by his son, his wife, And, to be fair, most people came out and even denounced because Trump had tweeted out something that was not good at all in any way, shape, or form, I'm like, no, people lost their job for celebrating Charlie Kirk, for saying all things, which was wrong as well. So just like, okay, so you guys, you came out in full force for this issue, but you're not going to come out in full force for this issue. So the hypocrisy, the double standard, God is not pleased with those things. If you're saying something, you need to be promoting truth. If it doesn't matter, you like this particular person, if what they're doing is wrong, wrong is wrong. But when these people pretend like they don't see, they don't hear, people can see, people can hear. So be like, you know what? We're not going to play these games. We see you. So people have lost credibility. With this Candice issue, even Candice herself, she has lost her credibility. Whatever was there left, Meghan Carey, Brandon Tatum, Tucker Carlson. No. These people, no. They are not who they say they are. They pretend otherwise. It's just like, no. People can see these days. You're not going to be fooling people. You know what I mean? Even just looks us up and they say like, oh, affordability is a hoax, And then there's a blue wave that's happening. So those are the things. Yeah, truth is truth. People are going to see, especially these days in a social media age. You can't be gaslighting people, man. You cannot be gaslighting people. So yeah, Candice, hopefully she's going to change and just change course, do something else. But it looks like she's dug herself in a hole, and then she's very prideful. She's a narcissistic person. She's just going to continue doubling down. So, but I was even surprised that even her fans will realize, like, wait a minute, you're playing us. And they'll be like, no, you are doing the same thing like these guys are doing. So that was quite interesting because I was even shocked. Like, you guys, you believe the stuff this girl was saying? Apparently, yeah, they actually do believe what she was saying. So when she came back, not with nothing bugger, when she came back, they realized, you know what? It's time for us to move on to the next conspiracy, So, yeah, I don't feel sorry for them because they are adults. But, if you're not pursuing truth, if you just want to be following people just because they soothe your conscience or, they're tickling your ears, sooner or later, you're going to be bored with them. But if somebody's speaking the truth, they don't have to change. Candice, she has to cater to these people that she has created. Otherwise, she's going to lose the following. And on the other hand, she's already lost her credibility. So she has to please these fans of hers that she, she has co-opted all this time. All right, guys. That's it for now. I'm so glad that you're here, okay? On your way out, please like this video. We talked a whole bunch of things, so I'm interested to know what you guys think with this whole debacle. I appreciate you. Stay tuned. More coming this week. Make sure you're a subscriber. If you haven't subscribed, be sure to subscribe. Guys, I want to finish this year with 10K. We are almost there, okay? Okay? So make sure you subscribe, okay? Help you get out. Let's get to the new year with 10K. We are right there, okay? So I'm counting on you guys, okay? Give the likes up and subscribe. Let's get to 10K together. All in all, I appreciate your viewership. Thank you for being here. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And yes, subscribe to the channel. Support me on Patreon and support me on Buy Me a Coffee. And yes, guys, join the membership. Let me know what you want to cover next if you are interested in a particular subject. But all in all, stay tuned. More coming this week. Until next time, remember, theology matters. Thank you.